You know, it recently struck me that there are people who believe that Black History Month is only celebrated by Black people.
So what?
Yes, I know. Although great, there are more people than Barack Obama, Martin Luther King Jr., Oprah Winfrey, Kamala Harris, and Rosa Parks. There are other American heroes who made life better for all of us and set the standard for generations to follow. There's Frederick Douglass, who was once enslaved and then became a well-known orator and abolitionist. Crispus Attucks, he was the first American killed defending the country in the American Revolution. Richard Allen, a minister who founded the first African Methodist Episcopal Church. Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman elected to Congress and the first African American to seek a major party nomination for President of the United States, and the first woman to run for a Democratic nomination. Benjamin O. Davis Jr., the first Black Brigadier General in the U.S. John Coltrane, he was a jazz saxophonist and composer. Fannie Lou Hamer, voting and women's rights activist, well known for the saying, "I am sick and tired of being sick and tired." Elaine Leroy Locke, writer and the first African-American Rhodes Scholar, known as the philosophical architect. Sojourner Truth, abolitionist and women's rights activist. Harriet Tubman, abolitionist who made 13 different trips to rescue 70 enslaved people. Guyon Bluford Jr., an American aerospace engineer and the first African-American in space. Hank Aaron, one of the greatest baseball players ever. Maya Angelou, poet and author. Maria P. Williams, she became the first Black woman to produce, write, and act in her own movie in 1923. And of course, we can't forget about our queer and trans community who often get overlooked in the list. James Baldwin, playwright, poet, and activist. George Washington Carver, agricultural scientist. Barbara Jordan, a congresswoman, first African American and woman to deliver a keynote address at the 1976 Democratic National Convention. Marsha P. Johnson, a trans woman who led the Stonewall Rebellion. Bayard Rustin, organized and strategized the March on Washington. And shout out to our young people who are making history today. Tamika Mallory, Imani Barbaran, Ashton Malta, and Brittany Packnett Cunningham. Now you have 28 people to learn more about. From here on out, you could take a person a day. Just know that there are countless others who have made history, and many whose names we will never know. So you got some work to do. Happy Black History Month.